Well, hi everyone, I'm Mike Richmond from PTIS. We're down here judging the 2020 Flexible Packaging Awards. So what we'd like to do is go ahead and introduce you to the panel and get started and talk a little bit about some of the packages that we're judging.
Hello everyone, this is Mindy Gruson from University of Wisconsin-Stout. I'm teaching packaging program. This is my first time being the judge for FPA. Excited to be here, thank you.
And hi, I'm Matt Reynolds. I'm chief editor of Packaging World magazine, also a first timer. Saw a lot of cool packages the last few days, so excited to dive into that right now.
Great. There's certainly been a lot of excitement with the 100+ packages that we've gone through so far. I think there's a number of themes, and we'll get into those. But I guess what I would say is I'm really excited about how the industry has really stepped up to the sustainability and circular economy challenge. There's so many of the packages that have really taken that to heart with getting to enhanced barrier and recyclability, increasing the post-recycled content, reusability, and even looking at packages that are helping to reduce food waste. You know, Min, you teach the medical packaging at Stout, and we saw a few interesting ones there. Would you like to comment on some of those?
Medical packaging, people seem to think about that sterile, white, kind of boring packaging, and there's a couple ones we'll enter to address that consumer trends to make it it's more vivid and more colorful for that, and also address the human factors for the nurses and the hospital setting usage.
So Matt, we've also seen, I think, a bigger push on consumer insights, and that has certainly to do with shelf impact, with printing, and the whole sort of holistic design experience. Anything come to mind there that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, one thing that we've seen more frequently and now more than ever is the matte background with the spot gloss to really make something, whether it's a messenger brand or something like that, really pop on a delicate background.
When I read the judge's book, I was like, that's the first thing I noticed, is the combination with that matte and the glossy together to addressing the brand and really enhance the branding. They're
seeing a lot of coloration that's either mimicking or actually is like this craft paper coloration. Some of them actually are using fiber that are layered on the polymers to mimic what we would traditionally see as craft paper, but then they still have the spot gloss over the top of those, so that really is a really bright, punchy feel on a very matte or craft paper background.
I just like that texture. When you just see the picture and it doesn't really stand out, and when you kind of in your hand, you feel it, like, oh, that's different. That's, I think, really stands out. And like with the new generation, they like to see the difference and like to touch it.
So it's not just the shelf impact in terms of what you see on the shelf that attracts you, but it's actually the hand feel, the touch, and the ergonomic shape in some cases that really makes some of these packages really stand out.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting related to that because it is about the consumer and solving problems and creating experiences. So a lot of things are, as we said earlier, being more holistic, and the way they're bringing technology in. I mean, we saw some new zipper applications. We're seeing some new sort of clear windows. We're seeing some of these other haptic kinds of things. On the technology side, I thought there were a few interesting things. Min, any comments there?
Yeah, I was really impressed with one regarding to anti-counterfeiting. So people are addressing that concern and with some new technology to kind of to achieve that anti-counterfeiting for the high end of products. Another thing I kind of would like to mention is that this new form, like it's most like rigid, traditional looking, but it's flexible packaging in field. So that's something stands out for me because they're addressing that people want to see the traditional, either, I don't want to name it out, glass jar or some other ones, but it's made as flexible packaging to reduce the material usage and all those. I think that's a trend. We see several interests with that part.
Yeah, it's a nod to the tradition. It's recognizing that this is where we came from, and then it's also demonstrating this is where we're going.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. We have so many different categories that we look at. We look at overall shelf appearance and impact. We look at technology. I mean, there's packaging excellence. There's other areas that we look at, and so as we judge these, it's really difficult to be able to separate them. And it's nice when you see examples where a number of things come together. Again, we're seeing technology solutions working with consumer, working with shelf impact, working with sustainability all together.
It's not completely new, but we see its improvement because the collaboration between the material suppliers, equipment, and all the things together, they work together to improve that, to make it the next level.
Yeah, and when you say next level, there is a certain degree of incrementalism that occurs, and it's important to see that everybody's doing something. It's not like there can be a paralysis of not being able to get to 100%, recyclability or whatever that might be. But there's some increments that are notable. There's many different routes to sustainability, and there's no one single correct one. But it's interesting to see everybody is addressing it. It's not something that they're paralyzed and not knowing what to do. They're all taking steps.
So we're seeing compostable, we're seeing reusable, we're seeing recyclable, we're seeing biodegradable. I mean, we know we've got a long way to go, but to see the industry step up so quickly, especially with the monolayer barrier materials and some of these things, and putting them into application and putting how to recycle on packages.
We talked quite a bit about these sustainability measures that are being taken. How well are packages in general across the gamut and packages that we saw messaging or letting the consumer know not only that this is recyclable, but sometimes in some cases this is not recyclable.
I think that's an area we need to learn and understand better as an industry. I think there's a lot of communication and education that we still need to do in that area going forward, but we're making progress. This judging contest for 2020 has been probably my favorite so far. There's an awful lot of new stuff here. I don't mind reading a couple of 100 pages when I see all the exciting things, and especially when we get to visit the packages.
As an academia area, it's always good for me to see what's the overall trend for the industry.
Looking forward to seeing what's coming down the road.
Well, thank you, everyone. We hope you have a great time, and we'll see you next year.